This is a Thinking and Playing video. This is Civil War Brigade series. The game is Champion Hill. And this is going to be my first plunge into the core topic of orders in the Civil War Brigade series. So this will be the first take, and I'll see how much more I need to do on this topic after this video is done. So this is, I'm going to look at orders first with it, which is section 10.1 of the rules. So being 10.1, it's obviously a subsection of chapter 10, which is command and control. So I'm going to go to orders first and then move out from there to command and control, which is a little backwards, but I just want to get, having already looked at how combat is handled, because that's where I wanted to look first. The second place I want to look right away to know or get a good sense of kind of the spirit of this design is the written orders. All right, so orders are the heart of the main command system of this game series. Players prepare orders in writing as instructions to the Corps, generally, as to what they are to do. An order is not a hex-by-hex record of movement. It is the actual wording in the same form as the historical orders. So I do have lined paper and a pencil handy. The general sequence of events in the life of an order is as follows. The player's commanding general has a number of command points available based upon that leader's rating. All right. So the Army commander. So here we actually have Pemberton. Let's look at the Confederates. So here's Pemberton. So the player's commanding general has a number of command points available based upon that leader's rating. The player uses these points as desired to pay for orders he wishes to produce. Orders cost a number of points depending on their exact structure and the method of delivery. So is this handled by charts? We have 3 pages front and back of charts for the series. I see order delivery. Obviously the notes on the order log, which I'll be looking at some point. I see we've already talked about stragglers, the morale table. Okay, so there are more. Oh, there are more. Okay. So, yeah, so there's a command points table, leader rating. So Pemberton, I guess the 0 in Pemberton is his that's funny. It shows command rating. Is command rating the same as leader's rating? Is that leader's rating? Okay, yeah, it must be the same. That's not a confusion. The leader's rating means the leader's command rating. Okay. So Pemberton is a 0. Command rating 0. Yeah, okay, so 0, that table tells you what points are available. Command radius, order delivery, initiative table, leader rating, success, loose cannon, order costs, method or written, type, complex, simple. And then we have an acceptance table. Then we have stoppage table and, okay, close combat resolution. We already looked at that, I think. All right. So back to the life of an order. Okay. Write the order on scratch paper, the order sheet. Okay, so this again will be my order sheet. Keep it in my saddlebag. And record it on the order log, a sheet of lined notebook paper with the column headings listed on page 1 of the charts table. Okay, so this is what I was wondering. it sounds like I have for each side. So for the Confederates, I've got 2 records. Orders log, order sheet. So here are going to be my orders, and I'll put order sheet on the heading. Order sheet, and then the order log. The order log. And then I will look at those headings mentioned right there. So those are the headings, the order log on any blank sheet of paper, preferably lined, make the following column headings. Allow 1 line per order, enough room per column to record the required information. About 1 inch will do. Okay. Do that a lot more condensed. Order number, arrival time, receiver, sender, type and method, acceptance status. All right. Okay, using the guide given on the charts and tables right there. I've got my order number, arrival time, receiver, sender, type, method, acceptance status. All right. All right. The player calculates the turn of arrival according to the distance from the Army commander to the receiving corps headquarters and records that turn on the order log. On that turn, he checks, okay, is that a table? Is that a table? Well, maybe this stuff will be reviewed in more detail. Order delivery, every 10 movement points or portion of 10 movement points between sender and receiver equals 1 turn. Maybe that's it. All right, maybe we'll continue on and assume this is elaborated. Right now is the overview, I think. So on that turn, he checks the order for acceptance. Okay, that's the acceptance table. Okay. Once accepted, the order is implemented the instant the Corps commander re-enters his HQ's hex. Oh, wait. Where's the Corps headquarters? Where is the Corps headquarters? Oh. Okay. I could be totally wrong here, but are we saying that in this battle, Champion Hill in particular, Army of Mississippi, which is clearly a headquarters unit, so in the series rules it shows the 1st Corps Confederate as a headquarters unit, but in Champion Hill, are we saying that in game terms the entire army is a corps? That's what I'm wondering about. I guess we'll see when this when we continue on. Okay, that would be interesting. Okay. Leaders which have no headquarters, such as divisional leaders. Yeah, so that's like Loring. Loring is a divisional commander, and that's what I was looking for. That's what I was just looking for. I don't see Loring's headquarters, so Leaders which have no headquarters, such as divisional leaders, implement orders instantly upon acceptance. Okay. So maybe in Champion Hill, again, just to reiterate, maybe Pemberton, who is the Army of Mississippi Army commander, maybe his headquarters unit operates in game terms as a corps headquarters. Okay. Order. Oh, I guess I had Bowen right there. Order, structure, type, and method. Each order must be classified as either complex or simple. Okay, so this is type. So type, right here, we would have complex or simple. All right. A complex order is one requiring movement to, into, or around areas of enemy control or tacit control, for example, a gap, whether or not this movement will require combat. A complex order allows offensive combat. So a complex order allows offensive combat. A simple order is one that does not fit the conditions of a complex order and does not allow for offensive combat. Note that simple orders do not preclude defenses. Be sure to remember 10.1H, which is what? 10.1H is actions which do not require orders. Okay, so there are many game functions do not either require orders or need to be mentioned in orders to be conducted. Okay, we'll get to that. Actions not requiring orders, which is what I just said. Method. Method refers to the physical structure of the order, either written or oral in presentation, and to be delivered either by an aide or in person. Okay, so here we're talking written or oral. So under method, written or oral. All game orders are written on paper, but the player must choose to issue oral orders to his units so as to expend fewer. May choose to issue oral orders to his units so as to expend fewer points. Players can assemble their orders as desired as long as they assign each of the above elements. In-person orders are always oral in method. Aides may deliver oral or written orders. Note that in addition to affecting the cost of the order, these factors influence the speed of acceptance. Does it? Let's see. Here's the acceptance table. Acceptance value. Okay. Leader rating, sender. So Pemberton would be 0. Plus leader rating, receiver. So let's say Bowen here is a 4. Bowen, 4. Plus method. So let's say Pemberton sends, sends written orders, sends written simple orders to Bowen. So that would be method is written plus 0, type simple plus 0. So that would be altogether 4. 0 plus 4 plus 0 plus 0, 4. Acceptance value, so we would go to the 4 to 5 column, roll 2 dice. And let's say we roll an average 7. 7, 4 to 5 is D1. Okay. D1, die roll each subsequent turn for acceptance. So would you put D1 in the acceptance status column? Probably. 1 or 2 on 1 die to accept. So a 33% chance of accepting per turn. Okay. All right. I think, guessing, something like that. Okay. Order costs. As mentioned earlier, players write orders using command points. Okay. Each army commander possesses a certain number of command points based on his leader rating. That's again the table. Pemberton, leader rating of 0. Leader rating 0. Points available 8. 8. Okay. By the way, what's the difference? Because of course we have Grant over here with a 4. So 4 at the top, 16. So Grant has twice the number of command points available, I guess, each turn as Pemberton. All right. Okay. Each army commander possesses a certain number of command points based on its leader rating. Order costs appear on the orders cost chart. Orders costs. Yeah, okay, that's the one we saw there. Oral 3, written 5, complex 3, simple 1. So does that mean that Pemberton, with a leader rating of 0, has 8 points in a particular turn, and he can send one written complex order? 5 plus 3 is 8. Determine the cost of a given order by the point total of its selections from each of the 3 categories, method, and type. Okay, I only see 2 categories, method and type, but okay. Each category must have one and only one selection, right? And a method is either oral or written. A type is either complex or simple. Yes. Order costs must be payable in full with the player's available command points. Command points may not be saved from turn to turn and are wasted if unused. Ooh, that's something to remember. All right, so that's like a command. It's like a command capacity, really, from turn to turn. Okay. The full allocation of command points is available each turn, and all, some, or none may be used. So this is interesting that it's not variable at all. So every turn Grant has 16, every turn Pemberton has 8. And it's fixed. It's interesting. Now, of course, maybe it doesn't matter to have that variable if acceptance is variable. Well, I guess acceptance is the only place where we have variability in this so far. Acceptance is where we have the variability. Roll the 2 dice. So we looked at a 7 with a what is that? Acceptance value of 4 resulted in a D1. Now, what happens if in the same case roll an extreme 2? You have DT, which is DT, order distorted, thrown away, and a 12. 12's just a D2. We have 2 accepted immediately on a 5 and a 9. For whatever percent that is. What's that? It's like a, yeah, I can't remember. Was that like a 16, 17% chance of immediate acceptance? So real quick eyeball, there's actually a lot of delay possibility built into this system. So while you can try to hope, and these are 30-minute turns, so you send an order, you can, by order delivery mechanic, you can figure the time that the order will arrive at its destination, but there's a lot of variability in when it actually is accepted from turn to turn. Order cost must be payable in full. We got that full allocation is available each turn. Player may write any number of orders in a turn as long as he has sufficient command points available. All right, 10.1 Charlie. Order format and writing. Orders are written at the player's convenience and in a manner in which the player is comfortable and understands. The written content of the order may be as detailed or brief as desired, as long as the player can interpret his own orders so as not to make them pliable and subject to changing meaning based on circumstances. On the order log, okay, back to our order log. On the order log, all orders must have an order number. All right, order number. There. The line on the order log in which they are recorded, and information giving the sender, receiver, order type, and time sent. Time sent or arrival time? Complex orders also require a start time or signal, a general direction or path of movement, and a reasonable time or a reasonable limit ending the operation. The player may skip writing the start time or signal for such orders if no such specific detail exists in the order. The order must begin to be fulfilled immediately upon acceptance and implementation. Open-ended orders, attack west, are not allowed. They are much too vague. Okay. 10.1 Delta Order Records. Orders must be recorded on the order log. There. And the order log's primary functions are to remind the player when to check in order for acceptance. So I guess what we're talking about is in 10 o'clock, in the 10 o'clock turn. All right, let's go with 1. In the 10 o'clock turn, as a matter of fact, let's just use this example. Let's just say Pemberton and his headquarters. Well, I guess it does make a difference. I'll have to look at that, but we'll say Pemberton's with his headquarters, sends an order. Order number 1 at 10 o'clock is sent. I'm sorry, 10:30 is sent to Bowen. So every 10 movement points. So is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until 13? Does that qualify as 2 turns? I don't know. I'll assume that's 2 turns. So if it's 10:30 now, do we write? I guess we write 11:30 for arrival time. Arrival time 11:30 because it's 10:30 now. Receiver Bowen. Sender, of course, is Pemberton. Okay. When to check an order for acceptance and to give a concise location of the variables pertaining to that order for purposes of acceptance. The idea is for the order log to be well organized and efficient record of orders so that the player may check to see at a glance what orders are accepted, delayed, canceled, or on the way. Also, the log allows players to sift out the info needed for an acceptance check without hunting down the order itself. So there's the log, and let's say, I guess on the order sheet maybe. So I can have number 1, and it's to Bowen, dot. So then what would it be? Maybe move south to Raymond Road. Move south to Raymond Road and attack the enemy vicinity Okay, so I'm not even sure exactly how yet to do this, but here's Bowen. I want to say move south to Raymond Road and attack the enemy at the creek crossing, and I don't know how. I'll identify this as the objective, I guess, somehow. Not sure how yet. Okay, so that would be the written order, which would be recorded in full text here. Okay. So that would be a complex order, and let's say it's written. Okay. All right. So I guess at 11:30, I can begin acceptance status. But isn't that interesting? What if, when I wrote the order at 10:30, I put arrival time. No, that can't be right. Or is it right? But what if Bowen moves away farther, and adds more distance between himself and Pemberton and his headquarters. That kind of doesn't seem right. Let's see if we can figure this out. All right. I can't see an immediate problem with that in writing anyways. Okay. All right. 10.1 echo order delivery. Orders may be delivered by aid or in person. In person delivery may only occur if the sender and receiver are in the same hex. Okay. Pemberton is with Bowen. That would be an in-person order. In-person orders are received the turn they are sent, so it's immediate. For orders to be delivered by an aide, the following occurs. All right, let's put Pemberton back. It's headquarters. Okay. Calculate the number of movement points a leader would need to expend to travel between the sender and the receiver's core headquarters. Divide this number by 10 and round up any fractions. The result is the number of turns the order will take in transit. Add this number of turns to the current turn to determine the time the order will arrive and record this information. That's what I did. And that's what it makes it sound like how it works. But what if Bowen moves off, or are they saying that Bowen isn't moving because he doesn't have orders? But what if he had orders to march south, and you wanted to give him orders to march back north? Okay, we'll just see how this works out. All right. 10.1 Foxtrot, order acceptance. Acceptance is a measure of how quickly the receiving leader reacts to the new orders. Upon receipt, orders may be accepted, delayed for a number of turns, or distorted. The acceptance process is as follows. Using the acceptance table, calculate the acceptance number according to the line above the table. I think that is this. Pemberton 0, Bowen 4. This is a written order, but it's complex. So it's 0 plus 4 plus 0 minus 2 is 2. Shift left one column if receiver has an accepted order or an order in delay. Oh, okay. So that's a penalty. Interesting. Okay. Use the acceptance number to determine the table column to use. So again, we have 2. All right. Shift the acceptance table column 1. Okay, that's what we already said. If the command rolling for acceptance currently has any type of word, roll 2 dice. All right, roll a 9. Not 2. 9 is D1. Okay. The result is acceptance of the given order and should be recorded on the order log. So I guess we put, this would be at, 2 turns later, we're in 11:30 turn. Then we would add D1, I think, because that's the acceptance status now. D1. Quote on the order log. Note that even if the order is instantly accepted, it does not become implemented and usable until the receiving corps commander touches base in his headquarters hex. But we already said that Bowen, division commander, doesn't have it. Headquarters counter doesn't have to do that. It's implemented when it's accepted. So that's where we're at now. He accepts it, he implements it. Procrastination, optional rule. A player may automatically check for acceptance only those orders received which are to be acted on in the next hour or less. Orders which are to be acted on more than 1 hour from the current time may not roll on the acceptance table unless the receiving leader rolls 4 and gets initiative. If the leader cannot get initiative, the order cannot be checked for on the acceptance table until it becomes 1 hour or less away from action. The player may have the leader check for initiative each turn until the 1 hour mark makes acceptance rolls automatic to see if he can try to accept the order. Alright, back up to the start. A player may automatically check for acceptance only those orders received which are to be acted on in the next hour or less. Okay, so procrastination is given as an optional rule, I guess. And frankly, I'm not getting this, so I'll see how this plays out in action. All right, next we have delay. A delayed order is one that is the subject of some foot dragging or preparation time before action. Once delayed, an order becomes accepted by rolling one die per turn. That's what the D1 that we wrote down for order number 1. So in the next time in the sequence of play when you're going to check for delayed orders, the D1 is this one right here. 1 or 2 on one die to accept. Yeah. So 1 or 2. So then we would roll. And roll a 1, so it would be accepted. Okay. One is delayed. Okay. The phasing player makes this delay reduction roll during subsequent command phases, starting on the turn after the acceptance table produces the delay result. Alternatively, initiative or the receipt of another different order may cancel a delayed order. Oh, that's important. The receipt of any new order, accepted or delayed, automatically cancels any pending order, D1, D2, but leaves a previously accepted order in place until the new one is accepted. 2 types of delay are possible, type 1 and type 2. Each requires a successful roll of 1 die to remove. Remove D1 on a roll of 1 to 2 and a D2 on a roll of 1. Once the delay is lifted, the order is accepted. Okay, like we did right here. Some of this whole orders being canceled and orders being basically superseded will come out more clearly in practice. I think distorted orders are completely misunderstood and eliminated. Note that distortion may occur even in in-person verbal orders. How can that happen? How can distortion occur even in in-person? Oh, okay, because you're still rolling on the acceptance table? I guess so. Right. So Pemberton is with Bowen. Pemberton issues an order in person right there with Bowen. It's received this same turn, but I guess you still roll for acceptance. That's what I'm assuming that all means. 10-1 golf following orders. It cannot be overstated that orders must be followed as originally intended. Even though game circumstances may have changed, these represent wartime combat orders in a society heavily influenced by notions of glory and honor, which may seem quaint today. Players should never rethink their own orders to find loopholes which allow them to get away with something, quote unquote. Orders can be followed with a modified degree of enthusiasm so as to avoid disaster, but their intention, scope, or original purpose should not be altered. Players unable to cope with the responsibility and honesty this rule requires will probably want to play without the written order rules. Alright, 10-1 hotel. Actions which do not require orders. So we mentioned this earlier. Many game functions do not either require orders or need to be mentioned in orders to be conducted. These are, but may not be strictly limited to, 1. Officer movement and functions. 2. Fire, close combat, straggler recovery, and rally. That's important. So fire, close combat, straggler recovery, and rally. Key game functions, by the way. Okay. Do not have to be spelled out in any orders at any time. 3. Supply trains and wagon functions. 4. Artillery functions such as fire movement within radius, etc. 5. Movement, facing, and formation functions of units not requiring the movement of the Corps headquarters. Ooh. I wonder how that's implemented in this game that doesn't seem to have Corps headquarters. Note, once a Corps headquarters is in position, it is literally bolted to the ground and cannot be moved short of new orders. Okay. Initiative or an emergency retreat. Headquarters may move along freely during the execution of an attack order or other orders which require movement but are again bolted to the ground when their orders are fulfilled. 10.1 India. Preset orders. These orders represent the commander's initial plan of action for the battle. They are not required, but an excellent player may be able to win the battle with these orders alone. So preset orders. The player writes and logs these orders before the game begins. Well, this is something that I would absolutely look at doing, and may make any number of them at that time without regard to command points. These orders are accepted before the game begins. All right. And some final notes. When the orders number 1, when they were accepted, the D1 would be changed to A for accepted. All right. Look at some orders, examples. All right. So here's Bowen, division leader. So example to Bowen: take your division, move south along Ratliff Road to the Raymond Road junction. When there, set up a defensive line facing south. This would be a simple order because it requires no offensive combat. Then we have move via the Ratliff and Raymond roads to attack the enemy at the Raymond Road ford between Ellison and Coker to capture the forest east of to capture the forest west of Ellison. This would be a complex order because it requires offensive combat, and it requires movement to, into, or around areas of enemy control or tacit control. Okay. So again, order to Bowen, move east across the stream to the area to the area north of Ellison, and to wait further orders. This would be a simple order. Okay. And maybe now order to Bowen, move into position west of Loring's division to cover their flank. Move into position west of Loring's division. Yeah, to cover their flank. And that would be considered complex order, I think. Not sure why. Well, maybe it's a question of how we determine enemy control areas of enemy control or tacit control. Okay. Topic for another time.